Harry.
Welcome to the Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha. We are your hosts, Denise
and Rexy, and we are recording with special support from Council Member Mark Collier.
And we're broadcasting from our galaxy to yours.
May the Force be with you.
Always.
Hey, Herd.
What is up, Herd? Okay, so we are doing a Bonnie's Bookshelf tonight.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to your November Bonnie's Bookshelf book.
Yeah. Mace Windu, The Glass Abyss.
Yes.
By Stephen Barnes.
What's his name? Stephen Barnes?
Yeah.
I think we had pretty different opinions on this book.
We did. Normally we do a live, but we got a lot going on this month of December. So
holidays are crazy, and we're very busy. So this is just the way it is right
now. We are not recording on our normal night. So
no. It is Tuesday night.
It is Tuesday.
I really liked this book. I thought it was a lot of fun to listen to. I didn't read it. I listened to the audiobook, and it made me laugh. And I liked the way it kind of showed Mace in a different light than I was used to.
Yep.
I thought that was a lot of fun.
I went back and forth. I had to re-listen to a couple. I also listened to the audiobook. I think my problem was, I waited so long in the month to listen to it. And I was, so enamored by reading, Phasma.
Yeah.
I felt going from Phasma to this book, it was kind of a letdown for me personally.
For sure.
There were aspects that I really did like, but I felt like there was a lot going on with the characters and Mace Windu playing both sides, and so there was a couple of times where I felt like I got a little bit lost on what was going on.
Yeah.
That I think
there was a lot. I mean, like you said, with Mace playing both sides, there was a lot to try to keep track of.
I feel like some of that was a little bit overcomplicated, and then they described everything, I think, on some of it, because all of the information in here is it's all new planet, new creatures.
Everything was made for this book.
Yeah. But I did like the growth that Mace had. I feel like though
coming, we should say this is coming right on the heels of Qui-Gon's death.
Yes.
They mentioned giving him his services somewhere towards the beginning of the book.
Yeah, they talked about it, and so what leads Mace,
and they were friends.
Yes.
Mace and Qui-Gon were very good friends. Mace looked up to Qui-Gon, as you find out in some other books that we've read.
And we also learned too that Qui-Gon also very deeply respected Mace in this book.
Yeah.
I think we kind of see some of that.
Trusted him more than anybody else on the planet, it seems.
Yeah. So what this book boils down to is Qui-Gon passed away. He was unalived by Darth Maul. And so he left this recording to Mace Windu. And it was essentially if you are listening to this is because I have passed away. I need you to go and take care of a planet for me. Go help these people. I owe a life debt to one of the citizens on this planet. They essentially brought me back from death and saved my life. And so that's what leads Mace to this point, to go to this planet and interact with these people. He was kind of hesitant at first. He confided in Yoda.
Yep.
And Yoda, we all know that Yoda highly respected Qui-Gon. But he also is part of Yoda's lineage, because you go Yoda, Dooku, and then Mace. Yep. Or not Mace.
Obi-Wan.
Qui-Gon.
Yoda. Oh yeah, Yoda. Yeah.
Yoda, Dooku,
and then
Qui-Gon. Then Obi-Wan. Then Anakin.
Yep.
And then Ahsoka.
Yep. And then a little bit with Grogu.
Yeah.
She trains him for a bit.
I don't think Sabine, she really trains.
She really starts working with Sabine. We'll see what happens there.
think Ahsoka trains she never trains Grogu. She says, "I know somebody who can train him," and then she shows him to
that's
Luke.
right. That's right. It was Luke.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So stop it.
Because I don't think Ahsoka ever really wanted to train after everything that happened with her, which makes sense.
Yeah, because she walked away. Back to Mace though. Yeah, this is right on the heels, and I don't think he felt that he deserved the secret, the trust. He was a little bit surprised at like, what? This is a really big freaking deal.
Yeah, and he was being sent to this planet that like they've never even heard of. They knew nothing about. It was a very backwatered outer rim planet that was controlled by essentially criminals that I
don't remember what they're
I can't remember what they're called, but I know they were trying to prevent getting taken over by the Hutts. Remember that. But they had their natives there, and then they had the people that took over or were trying to take over. There essentially boils down to there's a war.
Yeah, it's like a civil war.
Yeah,
on this planet, and Mace is there, kind of playing both sides to try to help the good guys,
the natives.
Like, yeah.
See, and that's
like worming his way into the good graces of the bad guys here, so that he can.
Were they worms? I don't know. I felt like I heard worms a lot. I'm telling you, like I kind of had a hard time with this book.
Yeah, there's a lot that I don't remember. I only listened to it once, and I did the opposite of you. Yeah. I listened to Mace, and then I listened to Phasma. So, unfortunately, Phasma blew Mace out of the water, and we've already done our episode on Phasma, but I don't remember some of these finer details about the Mace book because they've been replaced by Phasma details.
If you want to know about the Phasma, that is one of our Patreon exclusives. We talked about Phasma for the month of November, and we dove deep into Phasma.
We learned a lot of stuff. That is one of the things you get when you are a Patreon subscriber. You get a monthly Women of Star Wars exclusive episode every week.
Yes. So I think the thing I did like about this book, not so much about the Civil War or any of that, was Mace, I feel like, grew a lot. I felt like he was very kind of not unsure of himself, but he just saw himself as this warrior and nothing else.
Yeah.
And I think that the relationship he had with the one woman and processing these nightmares kind of made him like reevaluate some of the stuff. Like he felt, that was one of the things that his growth, he thought he was kind of abandoned by his people, remember?
Yes.
So
yes, that was a really emotional sore spot for him because he thought his parents gave him up.
No, his parents died.
No. He thought
the people, his people.
But his people, sorry. He knew his parents died. But he also then started to wonder, because remember there was that memory implanted in his brain that was he was having this nightmare over and over of these two people walking out and leaving him in the desert.
Yeah.
And so he was starting to wonder, well, did they die? Did they abandon me? Did they give me up? I know my people gave me up.
People give me up, and him working through those nightmares, I thought was really cool. And it makes you wonder if a lot of these different Jedis work through kind of similar things. Right. It's also very interesting because I
made him seem more relatable. It's he's got some trauma too. He has nightmares. He has worries and.
So I also feel too now, the more that, especially since Disney wiped clean all of this Legends and they've started this whole new canon, and especially with they're pumping out all these books and we're getting more background,
right?
And we're learning more about the Jedi and how they become Jedi, and they go and they talk to the parents and they ask the parents permission to.
Right. And the process, how they're taught, things that they're taught. In all these different books, we get to put more pieces of this puzzle together.
But Mace, I always thought that once the children went to the Jedi Temple, that they didn't know anything about their history or their past because they aren't supposed to form these connections.
And the same.
But in here, Mace, he knew about his parents.
Yeah.
He knew that they passed away.
Researched
things
about his home planet and stuff in the archive.
And it's not the first time that we've heard this recently. Like, in what was it? So, like in the High Republic books, like Ram talks all about his home planet Valo and being from Valo and having pride from being from this planet. Like, we're starting to hear all these kids know, like,
But
planets they come
means,
from.
like, maybe that the way the Jedi operate there is changing, and they're starting to learn, like, maybe we shouldn't completely keep them away from.
But Mace Windu isn't that much, like, Mace Windu's like 100 years later.
Maybe Disney's just trying to retcon some of this stuff.
Maybe.
Make it a little more palatable, maybe.
Instead of just taking.
I'm like, say bye-bye!
Because, like, especially when you look at the different species and they look, you know they're going to be from a certain planet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, except Iscat. She had never, ever seen anybody like her.
Right, yeah.
Until,
she'd never even heard anybody say her name, like her species name.
But it was very interesting to me hearing about Mace Windu, like, really questioning, like, where he came from, his upbringing, talking about some of the cultural stuff, and then working through those dreams that his people didn't give him up. He chose. Even at a very, very young age, his people, they put him down and they said, hey,
they put him on a blanket, right? And he was like a baby. He was having this encounter. That was right when he was having his encounter with his, like, younger self.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, they gave me up, and he was like, did the Jedi choose me because I had nowhere else to go? And his younger self was like, no, you chose them.
Yeah.
You wanted to go. And he was like, let me show you. And yeah, that was when it was like a lush fruit, lightsaber.
That's right. And the lightsaber was
like a plant, like a toy of some kind. Like,
and he chose the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And that's where he also made the comment about the purple and it always resonating and having a meaningful, like,
And he made a comment about, like, he knew he shouldn't, but he took it, gave him pleasure the way it looked. And he was like, I shouldn't, but I really like it.
But I thought that was just really cool. I feel like all these Jedi, they're not plural with S. That was stupid. All these Jedi, like, I feel like they need to go through this growth at one point or another, like Mace did. We know that Obi-Wan did, remember, in Padawan. It helps describe why they are the way they are, but I also feel like because they live this, not solitude life, but it kind of is a solitude life.
Yeah.
But then
they are kind of isolated from
the rest of the world.
They don't get to form the relationships that other people tend to get to, and that definitely makes them miss out on some things.
And that was one of the things that he struggled with, was he felt like he didn't connect to these, like, to people. Because he said, I'm just a warrior. Like, that's all I am. I'm not. Oh, I wasn't asking, but okay.
Oh, I thought you were like.
That this was him going to this planet and helping these people and connecting. What was that woman's name?
I don't remember.
Sybil. No?
Sybil?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it is. No. I don't know. Nala? No. Is it Nala? I think it might be Nala.
I don't remember.
Or was that the droid? I don't know. But he made this connection with one of the women there. And the bond, like, she really helped him grow. She really, like...
Yeah.
And I think he was really caught off by the fact that he could connect with somebody like that.
He fell in love with her. Like, they fell in love with each other.
They got married.
And that was like... Yeah.
They essentially got married.
Yeah. And that was like... Oh my god, this is a side of Mace I had no idea existed.
Because we always just seem so cold and not cold, especially towards Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
very, very by the rules, by the books.
I thought it was so funny when she, like, did the ritual that, like, he's like, "Is this a divorce?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "What?" She's like, "What do you call what our relationship was?"
Yeah.
It
That was pretty great.
He was essentially married without knowing he was married.
Yep.
But they had such a bond, and
They were like such close friends. Like aside from their romantic relationship, they were very, very close friends.
they both like help each other grow and realizing to see further than just like
What you've been taught, just that thing that you've been taught.
To open your eyes, look around you, see how everything interacts with each other. They also on that planet had another name for the Force. I should have taken notes.
The web?
Yeah. Yeah, I think,
the web?
Yeah, because they said may the web be with you.
Yeah. Because there were also the little spider creatures and Mace. Yeah, that was one of them that Mace was like, I have to save them. Like, they were being enslaved, basically stolen away and enslaved and forced to just spin.
And that was one thing. I was having such a hard time getting, like, I couldn't tell, like, we had all the spiders, but then we had the people, but I wasn't sure if there were people. For some reason, I thought there was worms.
I know, it was confusing. And I think the spiders were not entirely spiders. I think they were like spider people.
No, I think they were spiders that were in tune with the native people that were from the planet. Because they would sing to them and they would spin the webs to make the silk.
Would come to you if you would sing songs. Is that where the worms came from?
I don't know, Rexy.
I'll be honest, I'm not going to listen to it again. This is probably the only time I'm going to listen to it. I did enjoy it, but like, songs with enough.
I liked learning about Mace. I liked his growth. I thought the boss guy, that the two dudes that were like combined and looking for a third to make themselves godlike. I can't remember their names. They were trying to take over the planet.
I have no idea. What the heck was his name? Was it like a...
Kinshawn? No. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I had a hard time keeping track with some of the names on these. I feel really bad.
Chulak.
There we go.
Chulak. His name was Chulak.
Because there was one that was like the super warrior type, and then the other one was like a
like intellectual, very brainy and strategist,
and
they wanted a third, and they thought it was going to be Mace
to make themselves godlike and unstoppable. Because Mace Windu was like everything. He was called the Solver. He solved issues.
He named himself that, by the way, Solver. But then it morphed into like his job there, his like kind of what he was known for, and that was solving problems, solving issues for people. Yeah. And Chulak really came to depend on him. He made himself kind of indispensable to Chulak, and he really thought he was gonna like morph Mace into them. And Mace was like,
I also like learning about how athletic he was. He created his own fighting style.
Yeah.
He was very trained and self-disciplined, and he enjoyed like the fighting matches that he was a part of, and like
he had a lot of fun just I think with the sport.
I think so too. Like some enjoy researching, some enjoy like exploring. Mace Windu like the fight.
He likes the fight.
Which it seems on par. And like I don't think any other Jedi could have fought for the planet like Mace Windu did.
And at the end of the day, I mean, he kept his word that he didn't know he was giving. Qui-Gon left in the secret mission, but he carried it out. He saved the spider people and got rid of Chulak. And
he had no idea what he was getting into. He just knew to go to this planet.
Like, Qui-Gon trusted me, I'm going.
And to look for this person, which so Qui-Gon had 2 messages for Mace Windu. He had the first one to go out to the Say This Planet, and they said if you complete that, play the second message. So not only was Qui-Gon sending him there, he also sent Mace there because that woman, he was like, Mace is going to connect with her on a deeper level.
Oh, okay.
Like,
he wanted them to meet.
He wanted them. He's like, I knew she was going to have a part in your life. And so he purposely, he was like playing matchmaker.
My God, look at you.
Is that surprising though? Like, not at all.
Their friendship was surprising, I think, throughout this book in ways that, like, you don't see Mace being this, like, light. He's almost like lighthearted in certain parts of this book, and up until we only see Mace as like stern and very follow the rules, by the book. You know, like, we don't have time to smile.
Okay, yeah, Kinshan. That was the woman's name.
Oh, that was her, Kinshan. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, the second message. You said, if you're seeing this, my old friend, then you have completed the mission. I knew I could trust you. I also suspected that my vision of your travels will I can't read. It's been a day. Okay, we Jedi know people. When we meet new ones, sometimes we can feel that they have a special connection with someone we already know. In this case, it was a sense that you and Kinshan shared a destiny.
Okay.
I saw, perhaps more than even Master Yoda, the price he had paid in life to become who you are. What you are. Master Yoda may be the most powerful of us, but you are the purest warrior. Which we always talked about, like, that's what he was, a warrior. Like, he fought, he understood what war was, he understood how people, what needed to be saved.
And, I mean, when you asked him at the beginning of this book, he thought that's all he was. He thought that was all he was good at. That was his thing. Because he likes it. He's good at it. It's his thing.
He said, you're afraid yourself of human emotion. All Jedi must sacrifice, but you may have taken that further than any. And when I met Kinshan and she healed my body, I suspected that she would be the one who could heal your heart.
Oh.
Which, I think that goes back to his, like, being conflicted that his people abandoned him and just left him.
And it turns out, I mean, like, it's so sad, but it turns out that, like, you know, his parents died trying to protect him. They shoved him up in, like, a tree as their literal last act on Earth. While it was some kind of hounds.
Yeah, they were protecting him,
yeah.
Mace was like, you cunning bastard.
But, yeah, so I think it was a fun book. I liked the insights on Mace. I enjoyed it. It made me laugh a lot. I don't think I'll read it.
Yeah, I think I give this one maybe like a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It was, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed learning more about Mace and how he got to where he was at.
Yeah.
There was
the backstory was good.
There was some insight on him and how he thought about Anakin. They talked about how everybody was like, yeah, he's like, we need to watch this. And
he's like, even Yoda says, even Master Yoda's like, watch this kid.
But he was just like, we need to watch him. Yeah. He's supposed to bring balance or whatever, but we need to watch him. He's a very passionate person. And we all know what passion can do. And this kid dealt with absolute. He's like, he was so eager, constantly like wanting. And he's like, that's not normal. Like, but everybody was like, oh no, he's the chosen one. Let's just do whatever. It really stuck to me when he asked Anakin why he did what he did. And he said, well, that's because Qui-Gon died. I have to become a Jedi. I have to do this. And so Qui-Gon was a driving force for also Anakin.
Yeah.
And he's like, we can't act on revenge. We can
right,
grieve.
Like, that can't be the only thing that's pushing it.
Yeah, because he was like, we can grieve, but we can't. You know what? There was a quote from the book that I...
From this one?
Yeah, that I really, really, really like. But
who said it?
It wasn't Mace. It was talking about in and the light and the dark, is it different? Or something about it always being, it's blinding. Being in the light or being in the dark can both cause blindness. And I was just like, what was it? It was so good because they talked about, I was just like, the light and the dark can cause blindness. And I thought about it, I'm like, that's true, because the brightest of lights can blind you and the darkness can blind you. And no matter how good or bad, everything can be askewed. No.
No, that was fine.
No. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can find it on this app real quick. I wish I would have written it down when I heard it. I thought you could find quotes on a book on Goodreads. Can I take over real quick? Jason. Oh, I can't type.
It's hard to switch to somebody else's computer, too, though.
Oh my gosh. It's been out for over a month. Almost 2 months, though. Dang it. Because I found quotes on before.
Okay, we didn't find the quote, but if we do, we'll put it on our socials.
Yeah. Now it's going to bug me, and I'm going to have to, search. It's going to make me... It's already making me mad, Rex.
It's out there somewhere.
Yeah, that's after we listened to after we read The Courtship of Leia and the song. I searched through the book and I found it.
Did you?
Yeah. We need to make a fun.
That's fine. I'll back it with you.
Denise is so done tonight.
It's also getting late though.
It is late for us. We're old.
We're vintage.
We are vintage. We were born in the 80s.
80s, yep. Born in the late 1900s.
No, I hate when
I know.
when kids say that. Go get carded and they see the 19. Oh yeah, you're old enough.
And I was like,
Half the time I don't even get carded anymore.
my trunk. Yeah.
I miss the days of getting carded.
I know. Oh. Well, I think I'll probably get this a 3 stars out of 5.
I think it was 2.5. I just sometimes I read so many Star Wars books.
They kind of smush together.
Yeah. I read listened to 4 or 5 last month for November.
Yeah. I only did, I think, just those 3. I did Planet X and Phasma and Windu. But Phasma just blew the rest of them out of the water, so I kind of don't remember anything about.
I did the most recent, or Tears of the Nameless. I listened to the audiobook, Seeds of Starlight. That was a free one that they released as a kid book. It's like a middle grade. That was fun. Not as good as the the Padawan with Anakin. That was really good. And then Phasma, and then Mace Windu. What else did I read? I had 7 books for November. I don't even remember. I don't.
Weren't you reading some fantasy books?
No, I didn't read any fantasy books last month. I literally have no idea. What
Did
did
you track it on your Goodreads?
I have them on 2 apps. I never finished Practical Magic. I got paused. I got halfway through it, and like,
I got busy trying to read stuff. And now I'm all into that series. I finished Hooked. Now I'm on Scarred. I'm almost done with Scarred. I've got like 20 minutes left of it. And I'll go to whatever the third one is.
Oh, I listened to the Hunger Game books.
Oh, I love those. I've never listened to them, but I've read all of them.
Sometimes it's hard with young adult books because they like, I feel like a lot of times they'll use like the voices. They're like, they're kind of like, I feel like they're older people trying to emulate like teenagers, and so I had to
throw you off a little bit.
Yeah, but I enjoyed those books.
I really like that story.
I really like Tales of the Raincorn.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, so those were the other 3 books. It was Tears of the Nameless, the 3 Hunger Games, Seeds of Starlight, Phasma, and Mace Windu.
Okay. I read the books that we really should talk about.
Yeah. I am now listening to The Tempest Breaker. So, remember Tempest Runner? Mm-hmm. Now there's book 2.
Okay.
Tempest Breaker, and it's a full cast.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
And the person that is reading doing Lorena D. So much better.
Ah, nice. Okay.
So much better.
I remember that we talked about her and we were like,
yeah.
Let's see, where am I on that line? I finished Quest for Planet X, and whatever the one is after that, I think I'm waiting for like a hold to.
Oh, it's the last young adult book.
Oh, is it? Is that the end of phase 2?
Yes. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad.
Yeah, it is a young adult book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on hold.
That book is really that book's really good. I'm really sad that the High Republic is set to end next year. And
end to end? Like, it's going to be over, but he's
done.
So good.
Done. I'm like, no. I feel like I've invested so much of my year into this series. And
it has very much like reignited like a passion for Star Wars in a different medium, because like the Star Wars books were never a thing I was really into up until like really we started the book club, and it was the Queen's books that really clinched it for me. And Claudia Gray, her books really cinched it. But then it was kind of like, okay, these are just they're fun books, but then the High Republic happened, and I'm like,
Claudia Gray, you need to read Bloodlines.
Okay,
it's really good book about Leia.
Ooh, okay.
After Return of the Jedi, and it's her coming to terms with Vader being her father and dealing with the public finding out that Vader was her father.
Okay.
And it's
really good.
It's really good.
Master at her craft.
Yeah. They're like, she is one of the Star Wars authors that they get it. I like her. I would
love to meet her.
I
would love to meet her at a con. Get her to sign a book. Take a picture. Give her some stickers.
I also
talk to her and be like, I love your books.
I love
everything you've ever written.
I like Tessa Gutton. Tessa. She's written a lot of the High Republic. I like George Mann. He's done a lot of High Republics also. Charles Slosh. He's good.
Yes.
They're just
I remember that last name. I remember having to look it up.
You authors need to come to Oklahoma. I even now have a favorite Star Wars narrator.
Oh yeah, who is it?
Mark Thompson.
Oh yeah.
Hands down.
I have listened to
my favorite.
So many different voices by now that, like, yeah. I don't know a lot of their names, but man, when he reads something,
You know
it's going to be good. Yeah.
I follow him on Instagram and
Oh, do you?
TikTok. I'm just like, I want to meet you so bad.
Does he do anything other than Star
Oh,
Wars
he's
books?
done like he does voice acting.
Oh, really?
Like a lot of voice acting.
That's
like
super cool.
involved
What's he?
with Pokemon.
Oh, that's fun. Okay. I
Yeah.
never got super into Pokemon. Like,
I didn't
I
either.
played Pokemon Go when I remember, but
yeah, I want to meet him so bad, and I
Yeah.
want to meet all these authors,
that would
and
be really fun.
I just feel like what sucks is they sometimes just go to like the really, really big cons, like in Dallas or Chicago
Right.
or
But
Columbus.
stuff like that doesn't tend to come to Tulsa.
I
got to meet. I don't know if I have any books on this shelf, but one of my favorite authors. Her name is Sherilyn Kenyon, and I got to meet her in Nashville at a Walker Soccer.
I did get to meet Timothy Zahn.
Oh, at SuiterCon
Yeah.
when he came.
Yeah.
That was during my era. We won't talk about.
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't allowed.
Yeah, I met him. That was pretty cool. But yeah, it's just reading.
That is really cool.
Starting to read these books, I really kind of like. I knew about the books. I read some books, like non-canon. It's just there's so much more.
Yeah.
Like learning about how Mace became a Jedi and all that stuff, and how dedicated he was to training. Like we would have never known that, and just thought he was kind of a jerk.
Yeah, because he was just kind of a dick to Annie.
But
and
now we kind of know more.
Kind of disliked him because of that. Like, and yes, he's a badass. Yes.
But now we know a little bit more of why he is the way he is. Like he was always kind of a little bit more.
He has lost like so much.
He learned like he was a master at cutting off his emotion and just doing what needed to do to get done.
Yep.
And that's what made him like a good warrior, because he went in like completely unattached. Yeah. But like, yeah, because of the books, we know more about this.
We know that he has feelings. He fell in love once.
We knew that Qui-Gon
was a matchmaker.
But it's so crazy, like just thinking like Qui-Gon knew this lady and he saw it on a deeper he visioned it on a deeper level than Yoda even saw. And
like, you two have a destiny. You guys are entwined. We need to make this happen. Yeah. When I die, Mace, you're getting a girlfriend.
But it's just stuff like that. It makes these Jedi more complex. Not just we got the good Jedi and then we got the bad Sith. Like there's
right. It's not just these superhero, almost like mythical creatures only doing good, wielding laser swords.
I think that's like, what I like about.
They have feelings and fears and emotions. And
I think that's what I like about the new Star Wars. It's not just so black and white.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gray. There's a lot of personal struggles and personal growth and confliction within, and not
we're moving beyond just that like space opera, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a space adventure. It's not just that anymore. Like very much I think used to be that you watch Star Wars for the action and the comedy and the bang bang shoot 'em up, and you watch Star Trek for the ethical questions that it made you pose to yourself. And now Star Wars is really starting to, I think, learn from its sibling in Star Trek and learn that it's okay to make your viewer ask questions. Like, it's okay to make them have an issue and have to, like,
I don't know,
really think,
because some of these Phantom Menace out there do not like this. And they're like, I want my good guys to be good guys. I want my bad guys to be bad guys. I don't want, like...
But I think that's what's happening. I think that's the goal.
I think so too. I think the world is not just the world's not simple. The world is complex. People are complex. Characters are complex. That's what makes people relate to stories and get involved and invested in the stories.
It's hard to relate to Superman. I mean, like, it's easy to look up to Superman. It's hard to relate.
It's hard to relate to whiny Luke, who only loses his aunt and uncle, where Princess Leia literally sees her entire planet destroyed, and she has to learn how to power through. And he's like, okay, this makes me sound like a really terrible person, and everybody does. process trauma and loss a different way. But I could never personally. I always thought he was whiny about it.
I always thought he was whiny too. I mean,
he didn't see the big picture. Leia saw
his aunt and uncle. I don't feel like that was a problem for me, but I feel like he was whiny in general.
Yes, in general.
But Leia, as a converse, was very strong, very put together, very like, yeah, my whole world is literally being blown to bits in front of me, but I have to keep my shit. I have to keep myself together, because there are people to be saved.
And so everything was just so cut and dry.
And that's all we saw of Mace too, until now.
And I think with the new like sequels, they go into a lot of the like problem. Like there's that confliction. Like Rey didn't just go off to help. She was like, no, I kind of want to stay back. Like, what if my parents show up? Like, what if this?
Right.
Like, where Luke was just like, all right, let's go. Like, it just
just like everybody does, they process their things in different ways. Mm-hmm. They are mad in different ways. They are traumatized in different ways. And getting to see more of that makes the characters, like you said, much more relatable. And I think it makes the franchise more enjoyable.
I think so too. I think so.
Wrap this up.
I kind of went on a tangent.
It's all right. It's good.
It said Jedis. I still can't get over that. That's so stupid.
You know, I have been thinking about something. I just want to tack this onto the end, and it doesn't have much to do with Mace, except that I've been turning this over in my head for a little while. And you know how, like, we're always talking about Anakin was meant to be the chosen one that brings balance to the Force, right?
Yes.
And I have said several times that I do not think he's the chosen one.
Well, George Lucas said he is the chosen one.
I know, but I've been thinking about this.
I think it's the line. I think it's that lineage.
I think that he is the chosen one. He is meant to bring balance to the Force, but not in the way that any of us thought that meant. Not as in Annie's going to do the things that are good that fix it, but as in
he tore it down
Annie
so it could be built back
ripped
up.
It apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how Annie brought balance to the Force. Not like, he's the chosen one. How could you have done this? Like, well, no, the chosen one doesn't necessarily mean good. He brought balance to the Force by ripping things apart and raising up people who were able to actually bring balance.
Corrupt and how away from the tenets the Jedi were getting, especially with the acolyte.
It needed to be ripped down and rebuilt.
Yeah, I don't think
the things that he did good, but he did bring balance.
I think I am a whole believer that Anakin's lineage and teaching is what starts it to teaching Ahsoka. She wasn't she was this inflect between. She was a way seeker. She wasn't fully Jedi, but she didn't dabble in the dark side, but she was more open to trying different things. And then she learned and caught up with Luke and started talking with Luke, who then also, after he brought that balance, he showed that there can be redemption, that no matter how far we fall, we can get back up with Vader, and then bringing back this new Jedi to then eventually teach Rey and leave all the teachings with Rey for her to build a new Jedi.
And so none of that could have happened had Vader not committed the heinous acts that he committed. He was the chosen one. He just didn't do it in the way anybody expected.
Because chaos.
Everybody expected that meant good things.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my little tangent. Yep.
I'm tired.
Same. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat dinner.
I'm sleepy. I'm gonna go to bed. So finding the fun from our galaxy to yours.
May the Force be with you.
Always.
Good job, you did it.
Thank you for listening to Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha, written and produced by Denise McKay.
Edited and produced by Rexy Jupiter. Original logo designed by Tyler Rigney.
Intro and outro music is provided by the Galactic Empire.
You can find us on all streaming platforms at Travel and Bantha.
And join our Discord for fun-filled galaxy chats.
You can also sign up for our Patreon starting at just $3. You get exclusive episodes, merch, behind the scenes, and more.
And a special thanks to all our Jedi Knight members and higher. We have Rooney, Michael Beavers, Mark Collier, and James Peake. From our galaxy to yours,
May the force be with you.
always.